There are lots of different types of materials that you can use to paint with besides just brushes. I have a few here that I use a lot to paint with. I actually use to pick out the paint off of the surface with these materials here. On this side here, I have sculpting type materials. You'd actually find these in a sculpting section of your art store or at a completely sculpting store. This edge is a nice serration. As you pull it across the surface, it gives you that mark as it picks away the paint. You can also use this edge. How you tilt it and have it across the surface gives you a different type of mark. Pressure sensitivity is also key with these. The less you press, the less will come off the surface. The more you press, the more will come off the surface. These are very similar tools here. They have different type of flexibility to them, and there are ones that are even different, harder, barely flexible, and ones that are a lot more flexible. And they do make a different mark when they are more or less flexible. But essentially you can use all sides of this one too, and this one. This is also found in the sculpting section, but painting section as well. As on the one side, it has two sides to it. On one side it has a wedge type shape with a point at the end. So again, the more you get to the point on the point, the less it's going to scrape off the surface. The more you use the wedge, you're going to scrape more off. The other side of this tool has more of a rounded point to it and does give a similar mark, but slightly different. This is a color shaper, very similar to this tool, especially that wedge end, the other side of it. It's a little bit softer, more flexible than this one. This one's a harder one. And this color shaper, they come in different flexibilities or hardnesses, softnesses. This one's very soft. It goes from white, gray to black, and the black ones are the hardest ones. This is a palette knife. I use a palette knife to mix paint on my palette as well as paint with it. Again, tilt control, pressure sensitivity, really key to using this tool to paint with. It scoops it up. You can scrape it on the side. You can put it straight on the canvas and push it around that way. You can also paint with the tip. This is another sculpting type tool, or used with sculpture. It has different edges, different sides of this tool have different serrations to it. Scrapes off the paint in a little bit different way each side. It's a little bit flexible, and there are some that come in different hardnesses or less flexible ones, and different serrations, different edge. I think it's also used as a craft tool or faux finishing. You can find them in hardware stores sometimes too. This is a cooking spatula. I use this one a lot. It's one of my favorites. It's very well used, you can tell. And again, it's nice and flexible. Tilt control, pressure sensitivity is key with this as well. Using all the different sides to the tip, give you different marks. And this one is very similar to that, just a smaller tool with a nice handle to it. And it's very similar to using a brush because of that handle. And again, the different sides give you, and tilt, pressure, give you different marks.